It's harder for them.
Yeah, and it's like, so it's not saying that you're gonna be rich, but it's like if you do have money, you're able to use that, like, how are you gonna use that for the kingdom, and it's just that, like you said, the obedience, the readiness, and the desire. It's when you're looking through God's eyes, everything's an opportunity, you know. That's even like this podcast. I was talking with somebody recently. It was a mutual friend that they've listened to the podcast a couple times, and they were talking about it. And this mutual friend was standing there. They're like, "Oh yeah, Drew's on a podcast. You already listened to it." And they're like, "Oh yeah, what's it about?" I was like, "Well, it's actually a Christian podcast. It's called the Unreligious Podcast." And the guy just said, he said, "Well, I'm going to hell." And I just looked at him funny. I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, at least that's what my sister says." And I was like, "Oh, well, okay." And I just kind of laughed, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, according to her, I'm going to hell." And I was like, and it took me off so much that it's not often I'm short for words,